What is going on, everyone? Excited today because we are going to talk about how to find good people to help you accomplish your goals as a leader. How do you get a successful team? How can you get people that will work for you, that love you, that will dedicate themselves to your cause as a leader, your vision? How do you get those type of people? Well, I'm going old school today, Jim Rohn. Everybody's heard of him. You can go to jimrohn.com. He put this out a long time ago. He says the biggest challenge you'll face as a leader is to implement a team, is to pick the right people. And I know when we hire, we all each have hunches. We each have a certain way that we want to go about to make sure that we do it a specific way. But what's your percentages? It's like hit or miss, isn't it? You think, yeah, I do pretty good, but I don't really know until I get them in the position. And then from there, I realize I made a mistake. I realized they're not as motivated as I thought they would be. They interviewed well. Or they interviewed bad. I maybe should have hired that person. Well, he gives us a 4-part checklist. And he talks about it being a daunting task. And for many of us, it is when you have to hire someone new and you got to find that right person. So I want to give you Jim Rohn's 4-part checklist. And if you haven't heard of Jim Rohn, you need to look him up. He's old school, success.com, Success Magazine. I mean, this guy, anybody you can think of, this guy influenced him. Name some of the biggest authors that are out there, and you're going to see Jim Rohn being mentioned in the books. Number 1. This is number 1, guys. He says, check their background or history. He said, this might be the most obvious step, but it's vitally important. Seek out available information regarding the individual's qualifications to do the job. I say do more than that. Check their background. Look at all the social medias. Look at their pictures. Go on little stalking level just for a little bit to see what type. Look at the comments that people are making. Go back 2, 3, 5 years. See what type of person this is. Spend some time. You're going to be hiring them to be on your team. The least you can do is spend 20 minutes to become an investigator and go over every single thing that they've ever posted. You say, well, that's ridiculous, Jason. No, it's not. You'll be surprised at what type of person they represent when they come in wearing a suit and tie or being all dressed up compared to what they represent on Instagram. You got somebody doing inappropriate things every weekend at a club, and you're looking at them and they're doing, it's kind of sketchy, maybe shady, maybe they're using drugs, maybe they're, being inappropriate with the opposite sex, the same sex. It doesn't matter. That person's going to be the person that you want representing you in that position. Think about it. Check their background and history. Just do some research. If you don't have the time to do it, have somebody young that you know go through and do this. Like, go through all the social media. Google them, everything that you can think of. Look at their history. I've done investigative checks, and I've told people that, had them sign a form just to see, and I've seen people that say they're not felons, and then you look it up, you do a background check, and sure enough, they're felons. And then you have conversation that you can have from there. They're being dishonest. So you would be surprised. So don't skip that part. Everybody skips that part because it's the boring part. And we think that we're so good at interviewing. But it's not that way. Science has said it's a 50-50 shot. Next, number 2, check their interest level. Once you've learned their qualifications, gauge the potential employee's genuine interest. Sometimes people can fake their interests. Sometimes people can fake. He said sometimes people can fake their interest. Some people are good at being con artists. I mean, we could watch the Netflix shows all day long about this, right? Over and over again. This person conned me out of this. This person. They have those right now on our Tartle TCast episodes, the technology podcast I have. I encourage you to subscribe to it. It's called TCAS. We just did an episode on this where people will spend, they have these farms over in like Cambodia and these different areas. People will spend like a year developing an intimate relationship with somebody online and then get them into cryptocurrency and then slowly take their money. One lady, $1.2 million she'd given this guy. He was there when she was going through a chemotherapy and helping her out and DM her and talk to her and always available. It's crazy. There are people that are out there that fake it. They try to fake it till they make it. And they need a job, so they're going to fake an interest that they feel like they think that they may enjoy this or they think that they may like this. Jim Rohn says, but if you've been a leader for a while, you'll be capable judge of whether somebody's merely pretending. And this is something you have to look. And it's good to be self-aware enough to be able to ask questions. Why? Ask the question, why does marketing interest you? Why does digital marketing interest you? Oh, you like Google a lot? Like what in Google? Is it Google Ads? Like what? Oh, Facebook advertising. Oh, okay, cool. What type of Facebook advertising have you done before? What interests you in it? You can ask those questions. You're the expert. You're the leader. Go down that rabbit hole and see why they're interested in what they're applying for. It'll take like 3 or 4 questions and you know if they're faking or not. I've had interviews where I've stopped them and said, this position isn't really for you. Or you haven't done your due diligence. How many interviews have you gone to? Is this 3 today? I was like, I don't want to embarrass you. I know you don't want to take any of my time. Do you need my business card for unemployment? Like what? I'm joking, but it's kind of one of those things. You'll see them faking it. Arrange face-to-face conversations and try to gauge his or her sincerity the best of your ability. You won't hit the bullseye every time, but you can get pretty good at spotting genuine interest. The most interested prospects are often the good ones, and you're going to have a better conversation. Yes, they're going to be nervous. We're all nervous. We're all going to be nervous. I mean, if the President of the United States right now said, hey, I need to talk to you, I need you to come to the White House, we'd be nervous. Whether you like him or not, doesn't matter. You'd still be nervous. Number 3, check their responses. A response tells you a lot about someone's integrity, character, and skills. I'm going to stop right there. This is where listening skills come in so handy. When you take the time to pay attention, be self-aware enough to understand their responses, to not be thinking about something else, to not be hearing the click of the email. Make sure that you had your phone on airplane mode so that you wouldn't get interrupted and your computer speakers down when you do an interview, and be solely focused on them. Now, don't be weird where you're just staring at them the whole time. But you will understand their response in almost a mythical way, a woo-woo way. And you'll be able to sense someone's integrity, character, and skills by the way they're responding. So my interview is a bunch of questions. And I just kind of ask question, and then I use my magic words and what else? Oh, you're really interested in Facebook ads? Well, what are you interested in Facebook ads? Oh, and what else? Oh, that's interesting. So you did, and you did, oh, okay, so you did advertising for this company, and this company. Is there any other companies you did advertising for? What other type of other advertising have you done? And I just sit back, relax. I make myself to be patient, and I make myself to listen. All I do is ask questions in an interview. I don't tell them about the position or anything. I just ask questions. Listen for responses like these. You want me to get there that early? You want me to stay that late? The break is only 10 minutes. I'll have to work 2 evenings a week and Saturdays. Like that's why I like to put it out there right off the bat. Like, this job may not be for you, and here's the reasons why. I do that. You're going to work a lot of weird hours. A lot of the job is working at home. A lot of people can't be self-responsible. They let their family, friends, and everybody else get in the way because they think they have a flexible schedule. And next thing you know, by the time they've gone to the gym, done all their chores for their partner, their wife, whatever it may be, and by the time they've done this, and this, it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon and they haven't done shit. Don't ignore the clues. You'll see them. If you're really paying attention, you'll see the clues. They indicate their character and often reveal how hard he or she will work. If you pay attention, especially like a brand new employee, I'll do little tests on them. Like I'll be like, hey, do you mind staying 30 minutes late? Well, boss, I got like this, and this, and I already planned this. Hey, what are you doing this Saturday? I'm doing some training, and I have a couple guys coming in, and I wanted to see if you could come in too. We're going to do some training on self-awareness or whatever it may be. Do you mind coming an hour early? I want to go over this project with you, and I want to have time before everybody gets busy. I want to be able to just have me and you so that we can just really focus on it. I'll get Starbucks. What do you want? If they're like, well, our attitudes reflect our inner selves. I love that statement. Our attitudes reflect our inner selves. So even if we can fool others for a while, our true selves eventually emerge. This happens. This is what happens after a month, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months. The true person comes out. The person that you really hired comes out. The key is to be the investigator and get it out in the beginning. Put everything out there. Don't sugarcoat anything. Like I said, here's the reason why you may not want to have this job. It's entrepreneurial. It's going to require you to have discipline. I'm going to ask you questions, and it's fast-paced. And I'm going to make sure and hold you accountable, and some people don't like to be held accountable. I'm going to move and make you uncomfortable sometimes because I believe that's where we grow. I make myself uncomfortable. My bosses make me uncomfortable, so I believe that's the thing that happens. That's where growth happens. Number 4, last one, check results. How else can we effectively judge an individual's performance? The final judge must be results. And he said there are 2 types of results to look for. The first type is work activity, and it's simple to follow up on. You just ask them, and he says whether it's a new salesman, make 10 calls his first week. If he starts telling a story or makes excuses for poor results, he's not following up on his progress. It's a definite sign. If his lack of activity continues, you'll soon realize that he may not be capable of being a member of your team. That's easy. Work activity. Hey, let's hop on a call real fast for 5 minutes on Slack. Let's do a Slack huddle. 5 minutes. I want to go over what you did the last few days. I do those all the time, surprise ones. I want to see what they're doing. I have teams all over the world. I need to know what's going on. I love that because, I'm paying you to work full time. Yeah, and you get to work at home. That's awesome. Guess what? I expect whenever I need to have a meeting within reasonable time frames, we have a meeting. I even adjust my time. Sometimes if I have a really good employee and they're in a situation, I'll have a meeting at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm having meetings right now at 6:15 or 6:30. 6:30 every morning. So because this person lives in India, and I want to make sure that they're fresh. And so when we have the meeting, I need them to be on because they're building systems for me. The second area you need to monitor is productivity. The ultimate test of a quality team is measurable progress in a reasonable amount of time. Be upfront with your team as to what you expect them to produce. This is a problem. Passive-aggressive productivity. That's what surprises happen. You have to, if you have questions, you need to just get them out there. I've got questions right now and a couple things on my team when it comes to pricing on a few things. I've got to have that conversation tomorrow. I don't want to. I just kind of soon get invoiced and kind of see what it looks like. I may be surprised for the better, but no. I need to be proactive before we get an invoice. I need to be proactive to make sure the pricing is good. Jim Rohn says, when you're following this 4-part checklist, your instincts play a major role, and they will improve each time you go through the process. You're going to get these 6 senses. They're going to improve. You're going to become more and more and more self-aware, like discipline or whatever it is. Going to the gym, whatever it is, over time with repetition, it improves. Remember, building a successful team will only be one of your most challenging tasks as a leader. The good news is that it will reap you multiple rewards for a long time to come. Why? Because you're reproducing yourself. And if you can reproduce yourself and you have a team that's firing on all 8 cylinders, it is amazing to watch. It is so cool to be able to delegate and know that task gets done, and it gets done creative, and it may get done different than how you expected, but it gets done even better. Or if it gets done not to your expectations, you have an opportunity to do training. It's so awesome to be a leader. And I encourage you take the time to understand this checklist. Like I said, you can go to jimrohn.com. I'll put in the show notes the link to this. It's the biggest challenge you'll face as a leader.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.